Hey everyone, my name is Jay from Team Siphon, and I drew the shortest straw. Over the past 4 months, our team of 6 was tasked with creating a fully functioning title with original mechanics. This video will serve as a quick look back on our process. As for what worked well during our development, we came to fully utilize each teammate's strengths. Some were designated as the strongest programmers, while others stuck to puzzle design, level design, or even aesthetics. While each member of the team dabbled in every branch of development, we eventually came to streamline our process by assigning each member a task well suited to their strengths. On the other hand, the biggest issue we encountered during development was our decision to implement dynamic scenes, which basically meant that we streamed our game as one continuous level. The use of dynamic scenes would give players an experience uninterrupted by loading screens, but it was not without its drawbacks. While our goal of minimal loading screens was accomplished, we soon learned that things like occlusion and light map baking would not only require hours of calculation at a time, but would have to be done several times over to ensure accuracy. When looking back on our development, some of the most useful tools we've learned about are related to performance optimization. As our game approached the final stages of development, we noticed a steady decline in our frame rate. Through our own research, we were able to implement both occlusion and light mapping. These tools definitely came with their own share of headaches, but in the end they greatly improved our performance. In concept, the game was originally intended to be a 2.5D side-scroller. In this game, the player would utilize the movement of the environment to rout enemies and overcome obstacles. After many hours of discussion and plenty of testing, we decided instead that our game would be fully 3D and feature a first-person perspective. After multiple iterations and quite a bit of stress testing, our game now plays very smoothly. We made the decision to forego enemy units and an action-oriented setting in favor of more thoughtful puzzle design. The game becomes progressively faster paced as the player approaches the final levels, but only after they've had ample time to become familiar with the mechanics. Looking back on our earliest version of the game, one puzzle seems to come up quite often. It was our first prototype and was affectionately referred to as the dog, given its shape. It was basically solved by pushing a block up, stopping it at the correct height, and pushing that block to the right. On the other hand, this is the toxic spiral, one of our more difficult levels. Each of the 4 platforms holds a self-contained puzzle to solve, which will cause that platform to then rise. When all platforms are completed, they become one giant puzzle that the player will need to solve to escape. It's also worth mentioning that the player is attempting to solve all of these puzzles as toxic gas slowly fills the room. Creating a complete game in just about 4 months was never going to be an easy task. For all the long nights and headaches suffered, we take pride in knowing that we created something that people enjoy playing.